Okay, this is Andre Smith Jr. He is on time. Let's find out what he is about. Andre,
Hello, how are you, Sean? Can you hear me?
loud and clear. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. Wow, you have a very clear microphone.
I hope so. It's really just my MacBook. I got the new 2020 MacBook Pro, and that was one of the things they supposedly upgraded.
Oh, that explains, and you have a nice setup at the back as well.
I'm just hiding in my closet.
I see. Okay, so help me out a little bit because the only information I have is this for the guidance call?
hmm hmm So I guess where would be the best place for me to start? Kind of what's going on? Why am I looking for guidance?
Yes, please.
Perfect. Well, so I started my book coaching business at the beginning of the year, and I've had a good handful of clients, not too many, about 5 paying clients. Um, but for the most part, things have been a bit inconsistent in getting new clients. Um, I hired some marketing coaches who generally get some really good results with a lot of their other clients. And I'm seeing kind of more of a trickle. So I've been going the organic route, and I'm not dissing my coaches or the process because I know it works. But I'm assuming then that there are some breakdowns in how I'm executing the process. Um, but additionally to that, I think part of the breakdown is that I also don't necessarily have great systems. So my time is being divided in very imbalanced and disharmonious ways. So for example, I watched Saba's masterclass on creating content in 3 hours, 30 days worth of content in 3 hours. And
Yep.
I'm working on implementing that. Um, but prior to watching that training, I mean, I spend hours creating content and trying to reply to people and getting into other groups and, the whole organic route and establishing myself in front of people. But with that, while I'm doing that, there's nobody coaching my new clients through their book writing phase and nobody doing the edits on the books that have been, or the manuscripts that have been written. So I find myself having to go back to catch up on emails and come to the coaching, holding coaching calls, going through and editing books. But um, one book may go through 4 or 5 different levels of edits, and it's about a 6 to 8 week process of edits with 4 rolling books ongoing plus 2 starting. It's a lot of work to manage that, plus also oversee their book cover creation with the cover designer and just getting everything coordinated and ready to go. It's a lot of moving parts. And I can't figure out necessarily what I most need and where I can kind of outsource some of this and position myself. I know that at least right now I was able to hire one editor who's doing line edits for 2 manuscripts for me. Um, but as I think about this sustainably and going forward, is one editor enough to kind of keep things going? Should I've considered hiring a virtual assistant who can do some of the organic stuff on my social media, but at the same time, I'm not sure exactly what all I would have them do or need them to do. And so I'm willing to invest a little bit of money, but the thing is, I'm I have to be very judicious about where I invest because it has to bring something back in. I don't have much money to bring back out that's not going to bring back a return. If I spend 2,500 on another coach, like if I were to go into my account right now and spend 2,500 on another coach or 800 on a VA or something like that, like I would need within 30 days at least one more client at 2,500 to 5K. My normal clients are 5K, but if I don't get that back, I lose money on operating costs, so I can't afford to continue paying my editor for new projects. It's contract based, but I couldn't afford to pay him. I also couldn't afford another VA. And if I actually needed help with another coach who can get more results, I wouldn't have any investment money left for that either. So I'm kind of trying to figure out what the heck I can do to position myself to at least start making that one client a month and manage it well within my business. And I'm thinking about ways to automate and try and get some pre-recorded lessons in so I can spend less time in the coaching. But I need to be able to also create that time and that space to do that. And if I'm spending hours a day or hours every week in the social media realm and constantly trying to create better content and respond to people and doing the analysis on my content and the responses myself, like, and this is something that I also have to discuss with my marketing coaches and find out how else they can support me in some of this, because I'm doing so much of it. Like I ended up getting a message from one of my current clients yesterday, and we're about 4 weeks from her book launch and we're on track. But some of the things that I promised that I would get done when I onboarded her, I've got them started. I've just not been able to finish them because I've been doing all the things, and I can't afford to do all the things. It's not going to work. It's unsustainable. But I don't know how to position myself or even to even get the right help. I mean, if I were to hire a VA, could they create the content for me? Probably not, because they're not the expert that I am. So I'd need to create the content. But if I'm creating the content and I create it 30 days in advance, do I just post it on it daily, or do I need them to post the content and interact with people? I'm so new to it, I don't even know how that would actually work and what a good VA could do for my business. And of course, there's all the marketers that say, oh yeah, well, we've got VAs here and they'll set your appointments for you and get this and that. But that's great if they also know how to go and find the leads and get these appointments booked. If they can't do that, then I paid $800 for that month for someone who, again, can't bring in the leads, which would essentially get these appointments ready to go. Right now, as I look at my social media engagement, it's gone up a little bit, but not enough with clients who are like hungry to be like, yes, let's talk. Yes, let's talk. I'm ready to write my book, or, you know, I need more information, and I'm trying to figure out, is it a language issue? Am I not in the right groups, in front of the right audience? And these are things that make sense and need to be figured out. But if I'm spending hours trying to figure out which content's hitting and doing the analysis, I'm also hurting my business because I'm not serving my clients in the way that I actually am an expert in. I'm not a marketing expert. That's for sure. I'm learning. I'm learning how to do the stuff. I already knew I wasn't one, but I'm learning how to do some of the stuff and understand it. I am not a sales expert. Put me on a sales call, I'm learning how to get better at it. But there's still a chance that, you know, I might get on a sales call and totally give out the wrong information, or let the customer, the client, take over the conversation and just it goes left. It doesn't work. Like, that's not always the case, but there's that chance. I'm not a sales expert. What I can do very well is generate content. I mean, I wrote a whole book in 8 days and would continue to do so. But I'm so focused on so many things. Like, I can't create the content. I can't coach my clients through. I'm about a day and a half behind on current edits. This is not a place where I can be. And arguably, after receiving just one message of a customer who's like, she's been a good supporter and she was honest enough to tell me this, and I appreciate it. But this feedback, when you know you want to hire, when you want to provide the best service, that hurts. And I do not want any more clients to feel like they got not just less than star service, but less than what I committed to. Integrity in me is my highest value. So being able to provide what I promised is of prime importance to me. So that's kind of where I'm at in a nutshell. I've got so much going on.
So just to share a little bit. So where are you based again?
I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado, here in the US.
So California?
Colorado.
Colorado. So I'm based in Singapore, and the last 10 years, I ran my own martial arts school here in Singapore.
Wow.
Yes. So the reason I'm sharing that with you is during those 10 years, I was young. I was in my 20s. So I had the energy. I trained all the group classes, all my private students. I was in charge of doing marketing. I was in charge of sales. I was in charge of training myself. So every day I would be in the gym, if not working on my computer, fixing my website, my funnel and stuff. So when I closed that business because I had to retire due to a lot of injuries, I told myself that the next business that I start, I'm never going to be inside the business again because I was so much inside the business, it became
Mhm.
a job, you know.
Mhm.
So the overwhelm you experiencing, I completely understand. It's like my, I have to be in person doing all these things. So where is my personal time and what do I do to get out of it, you know?
Right. I mean, it's
So
7:12 p.m. here, and I'll probably be working for another 4 or 5 hours, but I started at 7 a.m. this morning. I
wow,
can't do that every day. I've
I
already been
see.
there for companies like Walmart. And again, this is just a matter of bottlenecking, but like, I guess where I'm most struggling, at least from my perspective, is figuring out how do I effectively get out of this position? Because if I were to stay here, I will essentially kill my adrenals, stress myself out, and functionally kill the business, run out of money, and be stuck.
Hmm. And what boggles me is you seem like a very intelligent person, and you also have marketing coaches on your side advising you. So what boggles me is when you it, did you share this with them? And if you did, what did they say?
I have not fully yet. I have not fully yet because they are working on some things behind the scenes, like building a bit of a funnel. But I do have to get on a meeting with them and find out what. I'll admit there's been a part of me that's been like nervous, like how do I approach them with this? Yeah, but I guess I should be able to have the courage to hold them a bit accountable and find out what's what.
But they are your
They
coaches,
probably
right?
can help me because yeah, they are coaches and I've paid them 2,500
Exactly.
plus profit sharing.
Exactly. So why can't you ask a question? I'm feeling overwhelmed now. Do you have some advice for me?
I guess I'm nervous to go back to them like, so we aren't getting any customers. What's up? What do I do? What else can we do? Is what's not working here? Like, and I guess I don't want to hear, well, we're not sure why it's not working, or well, we've done this, but you haven't done that. And like, but I guess if I actually take the time and figure it out and ask, we can get to a solution faster.
Hmm. So you have paid them, you have been working with them, yet you're more comfortable asking Saba this question. So like what are you experiencing right now?
I guess a bit of a lack of trust.
So you actually trust Saba and her team, which is me, more. You're more comfortable talking about this with us.
Well, I guess that, and then I guess the other side of it is I don't know. Like, I guess they probably would be able to answer this question, but I guess I'm not entirely sure. I know, like, I can see the results that she's getting in her business and
Hmm.
for others who sign up with her. And
Yes.
again, her marketing language is so spot on. I look at the post that got me here is like, are you dealing with these issues? I'm like, yes, I am dealing with
Yes.
them. I'm about ready to burn out. Like,
Yeah.
my marketing coach is like, all of their language is about building the funnel. Like, they can build a
Oh,
funnel,
okay.
and I'm not sure if they can do, or I'm sure they could, but also I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to approach them with this and ask
Hmm.
and maybe sign up with more and see what can happen? Because so far, in the
Hmm.
couple of months that we've been working so far, I've not gotten a lot. I've not that I haven't gotten a lot from them. Like, I've learned a lot from them. But when I think about it, I need something that's a bit stronger and more efficient that I know will work, or at least pull me out of certain roles to where I can be in my expertise and have someone who knows how to make something happen. in certain roles. I don't know. I guess I can't fully see where some of the holes are within my business to be able to say, hey, you need to figure out this. Like if, let's say that, for example, I wanted to hire a VA. Some people might say, yeah, just hire them and tell them what to do. Well, I think it would be more efficient and worth the money if I first know what things I should be doing and what things I should be delegating and what I should look for from a VA and expect. Because then if I have things I can create for them that they would need, okay, that makes sense to me. But I don't know where some of those gaps would be. Exactly. All I know is I can experience having so much to do. But what I learned over time being a manager at Orman is if you have too much to do, there is usually a process breakdown somewhere, and you're not doing something that you should be doing, or you're not delegating something that should be delegated, or you don't know enough about your business to figure out where certain things are. And since I feel like I don't know enough about how to effectively run this thing at a larger scale to where I could bring on help. And like, for example, I guess, let's say I needed them to manage my calendars for me. What things would I need in place for them to do that? Some VAs would offer, we'll create your calendar, we'll create your systems, and we'll tell you what to do, and you just put things in here. Other VAs don't. I know, for example, since they're not book coaches, they can't write up all my content for me.
Yeah.
So that's something that I would have to do. But with that, what are other things that I could potentially delegate or should, if I'm going to start pulling myself out of certain elements of the business? Like I can tell, I know a good editor, and I can tell them exactly what to do and trust that they would know what to do. I can tell the difference between someone who knows how to edit a book versus someone who's an undergrad in college who just needs extra cash and doesn't know what they're doing. And that person I can go and say, hey, here's what I need you to do. Here's how it works. Here's what I need from you and these timelines. That's easy enough for me. And that's why right now I've invested in an editor to buy myself enough time to even have this conversation. But also not being a marketing expert, I feel like, am I wasting my own time and consequently money by trying to do all of the marketing myself as well? Like if I know some of the strategy, like, and that's where I think my coaches have done well, is that I know some of the strategy and how it works and I understand it, but I don't have the time and bandwidth to implement it and analyze it and also do everything else.
I see. I see.
I don't know if you guys can help me, or if my first step should be go back to my marketing coaches and be like, hey, we have some offshoots here. What do I do? Because essentially I do want to get to a point, I guess if I were to summarize at least the goal, where I want to get to a point where I am strictly focused on generating content and coaching my clients. If I'm strictly coaching and generating clients, and I have editors to do some of the more in-depth edits and someone else to book the calls, I can get on a call and talk to somebody. I can learn how to do better at sales. I mean, that's something that just takes practice. I've never had to do it before. But if I figure if I can get those two bases covered, that might be right. But I guess I figure, free call, maybe I can talk to someone who has probably been there and might be able to tell me if I'm way off base or if I'm thinking right, or what I should be doing right now to prepare myself for that sort of shift. Because essentially, if I don't make this sort of shift and get a team going who can handle different parts, I will effectively be stuck at one client a month, potentially, if I can even get that call scheduled and booked and taken care of. And if I can't, I'll just be spending money on things that aren't going to be sustainable, and then I won't have any investment money left, and then I'll be really stuck. So I guess really why I'm on this call, hopefully, is to get some kind of clarity around what I should do. That's not going to cost me all of my investment money, because I am willing and prepared to invest something soon. But again, like I said, it has to have a very quick turnaround, because I do have bills that are coming out, and if I run out, that's it. That's game over, at least for the time being.
So you're in a very strategic position in a sense that you know you have to invest, but it has to be the right move.
Right.
Yeah, got you.
And I mean, maybe before I even invest, I have to figure out what my business model looks like and where. But again, being new to entrepreneurship, I don't know some of this, and I don't have clearly the time to read a stack of books this tall on business models, business structure, or to even fully take a DIY course. Like I'm in a position where I feel like I would need someone to say, okay, we're going to get on for this hour. We're going to talk about some things and we're going to get you on a straight plan. Here's what you do. Here's what you need someone else to do.
Yeah.
That I think I feels like it's what I need
More,
from my
more like
perspective, but I'm
more
not
like
sure.
someone to guide you on like, okay, in a day, this is what you should focus on. This is what you can delegate, and this is how to delegate, and this is how much time you can free up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ideally, if you have this thing dialed in, one client is at 5K, how many clients ideally would you like to have each month? Let's say that you successfully delegate, you know, even for Saba's content, you see all the content that she puts out, she doesn't spend a lot of time doing those things. You know, she has her way of blocking time out and then like one shot create all the stuff, and then the rest of the month, her time is her time. So even the content, you know, you don't have to be like brainstorming all the time. I'm doing most of the sales calls. She has a VA as well. So I would say we are consistently doing about 30K months, but she's not inside the business. You know, she has time to go out and like spend time with her loved ones and eat well and train and have a me time. So let's say if you could have all this dialed in, ideally, how many clients you want to have each month?
As a reasonable starting point from where I'm at now to what I think would be reasonable for the remainder of the year, 2 clients a month.
Two
At
clients a month.
5K each, I would be able, that would be 10K for the month. I could afford to have an editor. The workload would also be reasonably manageable. At 2 clients a month, I know that that's only just two edits per month, essentially. And that's easy to kind of turn over with the workload. Even then with that, I'd have, after, because it's a 5-month program, I would only ever have 10 clients in rotation at a time, which is a manageable workload, especially if I'm only in certain parts of things. And I can also then focus on training someone else to take over certain parts of things. So
Mm.
if I were to get an editor in pocket who focuses mainly on line edits, I
Yeah.
could train them to do some of the developmental work as well. And now I'm freeing up more time. And at that point, then I could focus on potentially bringing in another, if we're trying to onboard another client, which would get me to 3 clients a month, and I could afford to either pay them more or bring on someone else to help. Like I feel like at that point, it'll be stable enough to be scalable, strategically scalable, and the systems would be in place to be able to take on more clients. But at least as of right now, where I'm trying to get is consistently to 1 to 2 a month. 2 a month is the ideal goal for the next foreseeable 6 months, maybe.
Gotcha. So is this something that you are looking to address right now, or like 1, 2, 3 months down the road?
Yes. I need to do something now. Ideally, the part of me that's like, the money is like after I get another client, but I know I want to make a move. And I need to make a move now that will make something happen. And it's not just about the money. And that's the thing. It's not just about, I need to get another client in. It's how do I manage this so that I can get that client in and still succeed.
Hmm.
I mean, it doesn't matter if I get another 1 or 2 clients that I can't serve. That's the hard part is figuring out how I can get this all figured out. But yes, I need to get something done ASAP.
So based on the information that you have shared with me, I have identified 3 main issues, And if you have any pen and paper down, you could write it down. Just
Just
so
1 second, because I do have. Okay, go ahead. Thank you so much.
yes, and so the first one is something I've noticed on my end. So I looked through your profile before this call, and I am not clear on what it is that you do. So I'm surprised when you said that you had marketing coaches, that's like plural, but I'm not clear. I'm speaking from a potential prospect. Uh, I'm not clear on what it is you do. So are you primarily marketing on Facebook right now or some other platforms?
On Facebook.
On Facebook. So it's imperative that on your profile, your messaging is dialed in. And right now it's not because I didn't know that this is what you do, you know? So I don't know why it's not dialed in. Maybe because your current coaches are more like tech funnel people. Do they cover the organic game?
So they do cover organic game, but I guess I don't know if they've got all the skills they need in copywriting itself. I guess that's something I need to adjust with them, because I've been trying to figure this out myself. Like, they've told me some of the things to post, but what I've been posting, like, they're like, yeah, that looks good. It should be working. It should be working if the language is right. But I'm like, well, if it's not working, then the language must be off. Like,
So I'm not talking about one post or two posts. I'm talking about the entire system or the entire vehicle. I mean, if you look at Saba's profile, you can see a consistent system that's being played out. It's not like a one post, two post thing. Even for myself, if you look at my profile, it is optimized to be to tell my audience exactly this is what I do for you. Are you interested? So this we call it a messaging issue. So this is super important because everything else in your business stands upon this foundation. From the content that you put out to the sales calls that you have to the delivery, everything rests upon this foundation of what is it that you solve and do for your clients? And is it being presented clearly and consistently to the right people and the right amount of people? Right, so it's what is the problem that you solve? What is the outcome you provide? Then you want to deliver this message consistently to the right people and the right amount of people. So this is a messaging issue. Okay. The second thing, and this is really the main one that you think you're struggling right now, it's the roadmap issue. Where do I go? What do I do? What are my targets? And how do I measure this improvement so that I know I'm progressing? Because what gets measured gets improved. And all your how questions, like how do I hire a VA? What do I train him or her on so that I can step back and not get overwhelmed? Right. So
yeah.
a lot of this goes into the 80-20 principle. Like, how do I do the things that count, the things that move the needle? Like you mentioned, after this call, you're going to be working 4 hours. What if it was two? What if it was one? What if it was 30 minutes? You know, ideally, you want to take this route so that you're not working in your business all the time. So that's number two. It's a roadmap issue, right? So messaging and roadmap. And number three is something we didn't discuss, but it's something I suspect because I was in that same position and I thought it was issues one and two, but it was a limiting belief that only I knew the martial arts that I was teaching. No one else can teach that. Only I know how to write my content because no one else knows what Jeet Kune Do, which is the martial art that I was teaching, is about. And I didn't know that I had this belief. So not once I thought of solving it.
Hmm.
What do you think about this? Am I on point or off?
I think you are. I
How,
mean,
how so?
I I guess if I think about it, if I were to dial in the messaging, dial in the audience, someone who's skilled in copywriting could write the right messaging and post it in the right places,
Exactly.
and probably write it more skillfully than I could if they've got the experience.
Exactly. And I guess I could see that too at the time, but my habits were so locked in that, oh, I got to train my students, I got to write my stuff. If not, I don't know what to do. So it was a terrible, terrible time. But if I could do it all over again, I would hire someone younger, pay that person by the hour and just have them teach the beginner classes or stuff like that so that I can step back more and more. So I can see that now because I'm much older and more experienced. But when I was inside, it was so hard for me to even have
Mhm.
this kind of conversation. And I didn't know why. So I would call it like a blind spot, bad habits. I would classify as some kind of a limiting belief. So these three things, I would say, if you could solve them right now, 90% of the problems would go away. And I'm speaking from experience as a business owner myself. So based on this conversation, would it make sense to have a second conversation with Saba personally, where she can have a deep dive into these three areas and show you exactly how she does it to give you even more clarity on what's possible?
It really would. It really would. I guess my only resistance is, I guess, I feel like I probably need to go ahead and have a courageous conversation with my marketing coaches first. Because on one hand, either they are ineffective and can't continue getting me forward, or I have the conversation and they actually have what I need already paid for, and they just need to do more. I think I think this gives me a lot of clarity. I need to go back and have a conversation with them first. I'm here clearly because on one hand, part of me wants to like, oh yeah, jump ship, let's go work with Saba. She's got it. On the other hand, that's not always the best move, at least initially. So I guess let me talk to them and see what's left within our time frame and what they can and can't do for me going forward and how they can help me fix these issues. And then if they can't, I guess I book another call.
Yeah, so if I were in your shoes and you mentioned that there's some urgency to address this right now, my suggestion would be to have both. So you have more cards in your hands.
Mhm.
And if you don't think that Saba is the one that can solve your problem, you can just give her a polite no that I don't think what you're offering is a fit for me. And that would be it. But if I were in your shoes, I would have as many conversations as I can just to break my current pattern, if that makes any sense. But it is your call.
It does make sense. It does make sense. I like the way you think. Let's go ahead and get a call booked at least.
Okay, so can I'm going into Saba's calendar right now to see what is the best possible time for the both of you. So it's the same email that, do I have the email? Andre. Found it. So it's Andre364@gmail.com.
Correct.
And I would suggest the best possible time will be, wow, today she's full. Tomorrow she's full as well. Okay, she is very full.
I can see why.
Okay, I tell you what, I'm gonna go with my gut and wow, she's really too full. Okay, let's try this. Would you prefer Thursday or Friday?
Thursdays are usually okay. And Fridays are
Thursdays.
open too. Fridays are usually, you know what? Fridays are clearer. Let's do Friday.
Yeah, I think Friday is better for her. So Friday, I suggest the best possible time for Sabah is going to be 11 a.m. Eastern. How does it sound?
Okay, that could work. This Friday or next Friday? I know you're saying she was pretty full.
This coming Friday in like 2 days.
Okay, okay. And Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. That's 9 a.m. my time. That would work.
So I'm going to
Yes.
put that into her calendar and send a calendar invite to Andre364@gmail.com. So I am sending it now. Please have a look at your inbox to see if you see it on your end.
Yeah, it's here.
Okay, so that pretty much concludes this call. Did I manage to give you what you were looking for? Any questions you have?
No, this is it. I mean, the way I see it, if I knew which problems I had, I wouldn't need to get on a call. So this definitely clears some things up, and even though it's not necessarily what I thought, it's probably better to take another look at these things. It makes perfect sense. So yes.
Wonderful. So it's been a pleasure speaking with you. I love your energy. And what got you into this book business? Just curious.
So I love books. I love writing. I love editing. I've been an editor for 7 years now. Um, and I was doing it freelance for a while, kind of on the side. I started doing it more um, as my full-time career for a minute. And I ended up getting picked up by a different book coaching and publishing company that started having some business changes due to COVID. And we were no longer a great fit to work together. And I went back to freelancing, but I realized I'm also tired of competing for lowest dollar. After 7 years of doing this and getting picked up by a good company and paid exorbitantly more than what I was making as a freelancer, I know my worth and wanted to go ahead and make that pivot. So now I'm doing book coaching, applying my developmental editing skills with some a little bit of business savvy and some room to learn, and figured if I can figure out the right pieces, I can make it work, because I've trained plenty of authors to write their books and then go learn the pieces and go make it work.
See. Wonderful. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and I'm looking forward to what breakthroughs you have this week, speaking with Saba and also your own marketing coaches. So please do keep me updated, and I wish you all the best.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
great
much for
week.
meeting with me. You have a great day. I really appreciate you. Take care.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.